What's up guys, Barry Gaming here again today with more Idle Heroes. Today what we're going to do is take a look at the Phoenix and try to understand, since we've got a lot of questions on how the Phoenix works, why people use Deathsworn, that type of thing. We're going to go over and show you an in-depth, a little bit of analysis on why people run a burn hero with the Phoenix. First off, let's just start off with the Phoenix. So when it uses its active, it deals damage against 4 random enemies and burns them, dealing a certain amount of damage depending on your level for 3 rounds. Now in reality, it's not 3 rounds. We'll show you in an actual fight here coming up in a couple minutes, but just so you know, you do not get those 3 rounds of burning. So that typically means you have 2 rounds out of the 3, because it usually takes about 3 to 4 rounds to get a Phoenix active. So you have rounds where a target is not burning. You might ask yourself, why does that matter? Well, the active also increases 4 of your allies' 80% bonus damage against burning targets. So if the target's not burning, they don't get that buff. The other thing you don't realize is that 80% stacks up. So in my scary videos, if every scary gets hit by 4 to 5 Phoenix actives, that's upwards of 400% more damage, and that's why in those 14 and 15 round late rounds, you're seeing 3 billion damage per target on them. It's just, it gets to crazy high levels. And in our last video, we realized that having our Deathsworn live an extra round gives us 1 more Phoenix active, which is literally a difference of like 10 billion damage just from 1 round hit. So yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown here. Let's jump into some fights. I'm gonna do the first one without a burn hero, just so you can see how the burn drops off the enemies, and then after that we'll throw in Deathsworn, do a couple of our normal attempts so you can see the difference in damage. Alright guys, so we have a perfect target, our last day of Melassa attempts. So what we're gonna do is just throw in someone like Tara, doesn't have a burn on them. Actually, you know what, that's a bad example. Let's just throw in any old random target. That will work right there, because we want them to die round 1. Very similar to what a Deathsworn would do. So let's jump into this and we'll slow it down for the Phoenix actives. So as you see here, they get the burn buff right here. It ticks 1 time. And then we'll see here at the end of this round, it disappears. Why? Because all 3 rounds of the damage happen in a very odd sequence. But as you see, these rounds, they are not getting the benefit of the Phoenix buff at all, because the targets are not burning. Once again, we'll slow it down. The target is burning here. We'll go through this whole round, and then it drops off again. So even though it says 3 rounds, in reality the Phoenix buff only lasts for 1 round. So if you do not have a burning hero, you're only getting 1/3 benefit off of the Phoenix buff, which is huge. Especially in the late rounds. See, it dropped off again. When you're looking at a difference of about, oh, I don't know, 400% damage, it's just, we get the 1 round of damage here. Molasses attack drops off 1 round, and then it takes 1 full round of not having it. So usually it's between 1 to 2 rounds that you will not have a burning target. I mean, that's huge, as you're gonna see right here, the damage numbers. Look at that damage. Do you see that? 38 billion. Granted, it's a lot, but yeah. So let's just do our normal thing we do here. Swap that out to a Deathsworn. Throw the Deathsworn in here. And watch what happens next. When Deathsworn dies, he leaves a debuff on the enemies that leaves a burning the entire game, the entire round. So by having Deathsworn, it means this burning debuff never disappears. And what does that mean? That means that every person that is getting hit with the Phoenix buff, as you saw right here, does increased damage for every single round of the fight. So let's just wait to the end right here. you'll see the difference. And then the next round will explain one more reason why a Deathsworn can be so good in your lineup as well. Look at that. 73. We did 37 last time. This time, just by adding a burn hero, 73 million. Or, sorry, billion. Little slip of the tongue there. So, as you can see, you need burn heroes. You need either a Sigmund or the Deathsworn is always a nice cheap alternative if you're building a new team. Sigmund is great for armor stripping, but of course my scary army is running Kiss of Ghost, which has 100% armor piercing, armor reduction. So I want to go over one more thing here. So the reason why you guys hear me say I want Death early, I want Heart Watcher even to die in the late rounds, is that by not having them alive, there's less chance that the Phoenix buff hits. See right here, these 3 scaries and the Heart Watcher got the Phoenix buff. So what that means is this scary missed out on 80% damage. If we had a Sigmund here, there's a much higher chance that only 2 of the scaries would get a buff and not 3 or 4 of them. See right there, all 4 of them got the buff in the back row. There's no indicator or anything. The only thing we have to go off of is the heal number, and even then it's not guaranteed. But it just so happens to be that every time that I've gotten the highest damage numbers, I've watched to see where the Phoenix buffs hit, and they always hit all scaries. Every single buff does. So that is a very, very big key thing here with this fight, is that you need to try to limit the targets. If your main damage dealers aren't getting the Phoenix buff, that just hurts your overall damage so much. That was a little low. Heart Watcher died too early. I found the sweet spot for Heart Watchers to die around round 9 to 11 because her damage marks only stack up to 300% on each target, but because there are 3 targets instead of 2, it takes longer than the 8 rounds it does in broken spaces. So the one last tip I can give you if you are using Deathsworn is you want Deathsworn to live 1 full round. Times he lives through the first round of damage, you are guaranteed a last active at the end of round 14. See right there, he's alive. 2 of our buffs got hit for Heart Watcher and Deathsworn. That's going to hurt our damage numbers. But by him using a second attack, we get enough energy after round 2 to have a Phoenix active. That means you can squeeze in a Phoenix active at the end of round 14. So round 15, all of your heroes, well, the 4 that get hit with it, in my case it's almost always all 4 scary, will get an additional 80% damage. So this can go upwards of, I think we can get 5 to 6 actives of, oh, I should have counted that in one of these. Sorry guys, I'll pay attention next time. But even so, if you get 5 Phoenix actives and every active just like that hits all 4 scary, that's 400% more damage you're doing in round 15. That's why you see these giant numbers. See right here, because Deathsworn lived to round 2 and got an attack off, we have the energy. And now we have, oh, we don't have anybody with energy though. Oh, that's rough. But yeah, 73 billion, decent, right? It's no 80 billion, but that is pretty much why you need the Deathsworn. Let's take a look at him real quick, just so you understand his skills a little bit more as well. Alright, so let's jump in here and look at Deathsworn. His active skill just deals damage. I believe it's still burning, even though it does not say burning here. The active hits 4 enemies and deals extra damage at the end of every round until their death, so infinite. So if for some reason we get a mode that's more than 15 rounds, this will still work. Not sure. I feel like this will work, but not 100%. Each basic attack will, burn the target until they die as well. When taking damage, it'll also apply burn until the target dies. So these are infinite burns is what Deathsworn does. But this is the big one that's guaranteed. When he dies, he burns all enemies, no matter the number of targets, per round till the target dies. So that means that you will have a permanent burn buff unless you're running someone like Cthulhu, or somehow Augustin's put in PvE where he will cleanse things, cleanse some debuffs. But besides that, in PvE, you will have a burn on your target for 15 rounds. And that's how we achieved our 80 billion damage with our scary army. We had faction advantage. We understood how the Phoenix works. We had a burn hero that would help us get the exact number of Phoenix actives we needed while dying, and limiting the number of times a non-scary would get hit with the Phoenix buff. And when everything lines up together, you see these crazy damage numbers. So guys, I really hope this was a little more informative. I hope I didn't go too quick. If you still have questions after watching this, post a comment down below. I'll try to answer them for you. I've seen this question so much, so I figured we needed some sort of guide to figure out, or at least to help explain to everybody what is going on and why we use the heroes we do with the Phoenix. So hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.